All right, guys, so this is a cold start, and all right, guys, so this will be a quick walk around and description here of my 72 B50SS BSA. You able to get turned around, or am I in the way?
Oh, no, honey. I'm
okay.
just see the baby and then back to the
Oh, I gotcha. All right. So this bike is a really cool machine. 499cc, big bore, 34 horsepower, 310 pounds, with a top speed of 80 miles per hour. Pretty cool dual sport configuration. The Street Scrambler, 2.5 gallon tank. It's been a lot of fun to ride. And yeah.
All right, we gotta go. I just want to see the baby.
Oh, you're good. You know what? Let's see. Oh no, I'm not talking to you. No. I'm talking to myself. Yeah, I had a bunch of stuff that I was going to say about this, but I've kind of lost all ambition. So you know what? Screw it. Let's just do a cold start, and let's just do a cold start. Get this out of the way, because I'm kind of over it. I'll go ahead and start by turning the key on, and we'll test the horn, the lights, and everything first. This bike doesn't have any turn signals. Originally it should have had them, but the original or previous owner removed them. So let's see. Go ahead and turn the key on, turn the lights on. There we go. There's a light switch. There we go, light switch. You can see it's a turn signal. Wrong button. There's the high-low beam. All right. Running lights. Gotta go to the other side for my brake light. Brake light. All right. Let's see. And horn. You can see the high-low beam indicator works. Turn signals doesn't have any. The oil pressure light does not work. So, go ahead and turn the light back off. Let's go ahead and give this thing a cold start. So, I'll reach down, feel the header. Engine's ice cold. Ice cold. Ice cold. All right. I'll go ahead and turn the fuel on. I don't even remember which one's reserve. I think the right one's reserve, so whatever. I'll turn both of them on. I'm gonna go ahead and tickle the carburetor. There's some gas in my hands, that should be sufficient. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the ignition off, and I'm gonna give it 2 priming kicks. Get it to top of the compression stroke, give a little more. 1, and get it feel, get a little more, okay. 2, there's 2 cold priming kicks. Now I'm gonna turn the ignition on. Come on, that was right at the top. Okay, let's see what it does. All right. Oh, almost. Huh. I think it's got enough. Come on, baby. Yeah, that could have felt good. Also testing out some Chaco sandals. I think Chaco, yeah, Chaco. There we go. They didn't break like my reef ones did. Hopefully the bike's still in frame. Likes to walk back whenever you give it the gas. Slowly just creeping out of frame. Yeah, it's still in frame. Guess we'll go ahead and do a walk around of it. Why not? Quick walk around anyway. Getting dark here pretty quick. Gonna have to hurry it up. I think that's probably sufficient. All right, let's see. Horn still works. Not sure if you can see the headlight, but it still works. There you go. Headlight. GoPro should be capturing that. High, low beam. All right. Let's see if the kill switch works. Oh, is that the pass? Okay, I guess that's a passing light. I always forget, turn signals don't do anything. Well, that's the kill switch. Can't even remember how to use my own bike. Let's see if it starts back up. Just kicking that on the center stand. Usually I like to get my weight off the side. Not setting a good example. Let the suspension take it in, but I'm not standing on top of it like a lot of BSA and old Harley riders do. They stand on top of the bike and put all their weight into it, you know, straddling the thing when it's on the center stand or the side stand. I like to usually leave it so that the suspension, you know, take it off in the center stand, and if I'm gonna kick it from the side, let the suspension soak it in. I didn't do that this time, but like I said, I'm not standing on thing either. Let's see if this thing will go back, start back up without burning my leg, huh? Yep. Once she's warmed up, first kick. So, there we go. There's the horn. There's the passing light, okay. It's British electronics, you kind of got to slam your, you know, got to twist it and push hard on it to get it to work. I never noticed that before. Passing light, okay. And then there's the kill switch, that works. Start it again. All right. There we go. And you can obviously see, key shuts it off too. Well, there's it on the side stand. Okay guys, so it's finally midnight, everybody's in bed. I went ahead and moved the car out of the garage to get some space so that I could go over and hopefully talk through a couple things on this bike. What I was gonna say earlier, this is a 1972 B50SS BSA Gold Star Street Scrambler, I guess, what the SS stands for. 499 cc's, 34 horsepower, and 310 pounds. Top speed of 80 miles per hour. This apparently, you know, was a very early dual sport. I think the owner that I bought it from claims that it could be called the first super motard. I don't know about that. But either way, it's been a really cool bike for me to own, and you know, I'm fairly sad to see it go, but I need to move some things along, and this was one up on the block. You know, it's a good bike to ride around town. Obviously, with some dual purpose tires, it can hit dirt, light gravel roads potentially. It's a great bike for going, you know, 50, 60 mile an hour on backcountry roads, riding up to bike night, riding around town. And being 310 pounds, that's really impressive. Positive aspect of that is there aren't a lot of vintage bikes with a smaller stature like this and a light enough weight that you can put them on a hitch carrier or get them into the bed of your truck easily. Like if you were going somewhere for a weekend and wanted to load up one of your old rides and just kind of show off and ride around. There's not a lot of vintage bikes that you can do that with that aren't like, you know, a 250 or 100 and have a top speed of, you know, being pinned out at 40 mile an hour or 45, right? This thing will do 80 mile an hour and it'll do 60 mile an hour comfortably, 50 or 60 easily. So it's a small enough ride that it's easy to transport, kind of easy to just screw around town on. There's a lot of positive attributes with it. It's really torquey, really punchy, and it's a lot of fun to ride. I've had this bike since 2019, I think. The title actually says 2021, but the reason for that is there was a VIN correction that had to be made on it to match the frame. There was a typo. So when they reissued the title, it was probably around in 21, a year or so after I bought it, that I noticed that and had that taken care of and corrected. So anyways, I guess I'll get into the particulars about this exact bike right here. You know, some of the deficiencies of it, some of the things I've done, and kind of go down the list of things that I've made here, because obviously I'll forget them all. So this BSA does not have the factory paint job, as most of you experts would notice. It doesn't have the factory color of, I think, High Violet it was, the name of it, High Violet. That was the basically the burgundy color with the black stripe down the center of the tank. This bike, like many other BSA models in its time, was repainted in a 1970s style scheme. This one, this color, I guess I like to call this bowling ball sparkle blue. It's kind of got that metal flake sparkle look. This one actually doesn't look bad. I like this color. It pops, it's neat, it's sort of period correct looking. You know, so I didn't have it repainted, and it was this way when I bought it. Somebody painted this thing years and years ago. So I think I'm gonna grab the camera, pull it off the tripod, and just go ahead and point it around at some things. Yeah, so number one on my list, as you can see, that the shifter has been drilled and pinned. And I'm not gonna make anything up. The reason it's been drilled and pinned is because the splines are stripped. It's easy enough to drive that out, it holds up fine, but yeah, that's rounded off and it's pinned. There's number one. The tank is in very good condition. You know, overall solid, but I'm gonna go over some of the things with it. Removing the cap. It looks clean on the inside. You can see where they got some paint there. It looks like they had some liner around the rim, some remnants, but there's no evidence of it really being painted inside. It doesn't really appear to have any rust. Overall, I think it's in good shape. You know, nice, solid underneath. As far as condition, I will note it does have a couple dents, and dents is a very strong word, because I kid you not, you can't even see them on the camera, and it's hard, if not impossible, to get a picture of them. You have to be in the right light to see it. I'll try to roll along here. One of them is kind of in that area. Let's see. Well, but it's so slight. Yeah, kind of center of the camera right there. It's so slight you can barely notice it. You know, I want to say there's a couple touched up areas right in there with some touch-up paint, probably from removal and installation. Get some side views here. I'll just get some fancy B-roll footage right here. Try to move smooth with no gimbal. Look at that, yeah. All right. Let's do another roll up. Whoop. Doing this all by hand. Probably looks like crap. Okay, let's see. All right. Yeah, that's showing up a little bit better than it was outside. I'm actually seeing the detail on the tank. Yeah, overall nice paint job. This side, let's see. This side, the dent, there's one right there, okay? And like I said, dent is a very strong word. I'm not even sure, I think the camera's picking that up. Dent is too strong of a word, I just don't know how else to describe it. It's a dent, but it's a very non-noticeable dent. I want to say it's probably right there, center of camera. Like crease looking dent. The other one right here, and you can tell what that's been from. It's from the fork hitting it. Very, very, very minor on the corner. Yeah, there you can kind of see it, okay? Now, you'll notice it's from the fork hitting it, but the fork does stop, all right? The fork does stop on each side, as it should, and it does leave a gap, the correct gap, about a ½ inch between the triple tree or the fork and the tank. Now, the reason that that originally hit, as you can see, this here was engaging incorrectly. It was engaging too high on this bracket here, the stop, which is welded to the frame. I didn't see any signs of damage. I think that was just welded wrong from the factory. So it was hitting too low, and over time wore that off to the point of where it started creeping over that. It now stops now that that has been adjusted with a rubber mallet by someone, you know, a bit ago when I noticed it doing that and noticed it contact the tank or noticed the mark from it, whatever. And you know, that someone was me. So I went ahead and just basically tweaked that up a bit so that stopped correctly on it. Chrome's pretty decent, but there is some pitting on the headlight bucket. Pretty typical for these. Chrome on the wheel is pretty good. I want to say the back wheel, you know, has a little bit of surface rust on it. Maybe, you know, here and there. You know, again, I think the pictures do a pretty good job at showing it. Shocks are pretty clean for the most part. I mean, chrome on this is pretty good. A little crack right here in the exhaust guard. Right there. Just some odds and ends stuff. A little crack there on the handlebars. They still seem pretty solid. I think that's basically just above the weld there for the support beam, or for the whatever, for the cross member. These have metal side covers, so no worry about tabs or anything breaking off of them. You know, you can see you've got some sticker wear. There is some paint flaking there, little paint chips here and there on them. I think the other side, let's get a shot of that. I think the other side, yeah, the other side's got a couple touched up areas of paint. You can see some scratches, the decal, you know, and some odds and ends of buff marks here and there. One thing you'll find with BSAs, you know, we joke about them. One thing you'll find, you know, we say they leak oil and they rattle to death if you haven't had one. You know, you can see the front fender doing this when you see this thing idle, right? Well, that causes issues here and there. And one issue that it caused on this bike is you can see in there that the horn mount is busted on this side, and it's busted on this side as well. Right there, I've got marked as frame repair, right? So you can see this side, what it looks like. The factory welds. All right, there, it's factory. This side has been repaired with, I'm guessing, basically JB or epoxy, and you can see it's here, there, and it follows the weld. The reason for that is because there's oil stored in this down tube. It's an oil and frame model, and I think a lot of times they develop leaks around here. Talking to other BSA owners, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's a pretty common fix. It works. The only other option is that you basically strip the thing down, somehow get all the oil and residue out of your frame and weld it, and that's obviously a very, very, that's a pretty tall order. And that brings us to our last point. Oil leaks. This is a BSA. This bike leaks oil. If you were to ask me where the oil is coming from, I honestly don't know, because it pretty much comes from everywhere. I can identify a few places. I'll tell you that it does leak from the rocker box cover. You can see that. Mainly when it's hot and it's been running a while, you start to see oil around here. And then, you might get a little bit around the head gasket as well. So it leaks oil from those two places, a little bit. And then the rest of it, I'm not sure. It comes out of so many places, you just don't know where it's coming from, right? You'll see oil. You'll see oil kind of underneath the motor there. You'll see it around the drain, the sump area, okay? You'll see it there. You'll see it on the center stand. You'll see it on the side stand. You'll see it, you'll see it kind of around the oil tank. It's just so hard to pinpoint. I can't honestly tell people where exactly it's coming from. In addition to that, that's not the major cause of the main source of the oil leak. There are plenty of other sources on this thing as well. Long story short, when you go and pull in a parking lot, you're gonna find some stuff like this after you've been running, some little dribbles. That's where I had it parked earlier, some little dribbles. And then in your permanent parking place, you're just gonna have like an oil splotch, right? So yeah, always make sure to give a disclaimer if anything else is parked next to it. When they ask, hey, is your bike leaking oil? It's like, well, no, it was parked next to a BSA. And then they understand. Every BSA I've had has leaked. I think that's just something that comes with the territory. And they're pretty known for that. But full disclaimer, this BSA leaks oil. Surprise, surprise. Part of the fun of owning one, guys. Part of the fun of owning one. What have I done to this? Well, the bike ran when I bought it. So I haven't had to do a whole lot to it aside from general maintenance items. This year, when I did buy it, the kicker would not return, so I did put a new quadrant spring in there. It does return, as you've seen in the videos. Sometimes it can still be a little slow, but it returns now. So brand new quadrant spring, because when I bought it, the kicker would stay down. At some point, it's probably a couple years old, I did put a new AGM, just get my finger out of the way, a new AGM battery in it within the last 2 years, I'd say. I'm sure there's a date code somewhere. I did put some new Shinko Golden Boy tires on there. Golden Boy. Oh yeah. Fuel line I changed. When I purchased the bike, put some fresh fuel line on, so it's probably got a couple years on it. During its ownership, I have changed the transmission oil, and I have changed the primary oil, along with adjusting the primary chain tension as well. In preparation for the sale, I went ahead and changed the engine oil in it, and I put a new spark plug in it also. So there you have it, guys. I guess that's it. I guess I've got some editing ahead of me to do to compile this, cut down my rambling, compile that with the cold start and the Ride-Bys and whatever else. Again, I'm not really sure if I'll have a riding video to follow up on this, like a GoPro ride, but we'll see. I anticipate listing this bike to bring a trailer here this week, and we'll probably have this video live about the same time so that I can link it to the submission. So if it gets accepted and you want to throw a bid on in there, go for it. I'd certainly appreciate it, and it's a very cool machine. So until next time, yeah, I'm not really sure what to say. Guess that's it.